because I'm not your God, I'm not your doctor. I'm nobody's auntie. Just ask. Right. Ask for me. And today I'm excited. I've got somebody that's... What am I going to say about Wale Gates? I watch Wale online on Twitter and I laugh half the time. And I look at him in the gym and I grit my teeth and so much. I mean, I like Wale, okay? Let's just say that. I like Wale, all right? I really like him. So if you don't know who Wale is, Wale Gates is a performer, a comedian, specialist wedding MC, and Twitter overlord, as they call them. And I think that it's about time also that he started his fitness business, because he's also one of the most admired and followed fitness buffs on social media in Nigeria. So Wale is in my home today, going to help me answer the questions you sent. Hi, Wale.
Hello. You've introduced me that way that makes me go, who is that? That's the kind of feeling I get. Like, really?
Which part of it do you disagree with?
None is true, but I don't carry that. Okay. I hide that.
Yes.
No, it's too much.
Humble.
It's not. Some people go, maybe that's just fake humility kind of thing. My own is I'm always afraid anything could get into your head, so I try to remind myself. So I bust that bubble every time.
Yeah.
So if you give me a compliment, I'm one of those guys. If you give me a compliment, if you say, "Oh, Wale, I'm a fan. I really like what you do," I will go, "Oh, do you know Basket Mouth?" You know, I would want to tell you about someone else, and because that way it makes me feel like...
You and I have got to talk about that on another show, what really mean, because that was made before I cured it.
It's hard for I am...
because if you are already... Most true artists are self-doubting already. You do not need extra. Yeah, you do not need extra. And oftentimes, people read us more than we think they do, and they misunderstand what all of that is about. So yes, these days I own it.
I'm self-deprecating to a fault.
Yes, I know that. Look, I know these things.
I would even if I want to say something, I would go, even on Twitter, I'll go, "Oh, as I know, get sense." So I would bash myself.
I can tell, darling.
I do that a lot. I shouldn't do it, but I can't. I can't really help it. I have to remind myself that, Wale, you're nobody. You're just shit. Because I tell myself there is nothing anyone can tell me that I have not looked in the mirror and told myself 1,000 times, and I still do.
I think it's a fine line.
I do it too much. It's bad. I shouldn't do it. But
I think it's a fine line. I think that always to remind yourself and be grounded is really important. But I also think that to honor yourself and to be fully aware of all the things that you have done, it's also...
it's a good thing.
It's a good thing. I was always there myself to go like, look, you don't drink alcohol.
What is good?
You don't drink juice.
Juice. And sugar one in your juice. Sugar in your juice.
No juice. Okay, so water. I'm going to give you something else. Chocolates.
Later. Because
later, eh?
How many calories? And thank you.
Oh, smell it. And there's... Oh, smell it. Oh. All right.
All
right, so I'm going to start first with the questions. Why should you chew on that? Mm-hmm. I've got one question for you. When I saw that question, I said, this is Wale Gates. And then I've got another question that you're going to help me with. And then we're going to talk about you. And then you get to ask me a question, which I'm not looking forward to.
That's the thing.
Yeah. So the first question is this. And this one was sent using Ask FUNMI form. I don't know why everybody wants to be anonymous. So it says, in Nigeria.
Oh, God. That's not a good start.
In Nigeria, men have authority over their wives, as it's a man's world over there. But in the diaspora, a lot of men are being abused by their wives. What advice would you give a man in this situation?
In the diaspora.
This is what this person is saying.
Okay, let's match it.
You can't take it from any angle.
Okay.
So he's saying that in Nigeria, that what he or she is saying, trying to say that it can never happen in Nigeria to start with, but that it happens in the UK, for example. And so what would you give a man like that? It's interesting in Nigeria. Maybe it's the one that is getting a bit battered in the UK here.
Yeah, maybe he's in the UK. Okay, I live in the UK. I'm married, but in the UK. Now, one thing you have to we have to realize that, first of all, marriages have changed. Roles have changed. Things have changed. That's what first thing you have to understand. Things have changed. Now, about getting battered or getting abused.
Do men get battered? Do they get abused?
Yes. Men do, because I know men who have gone through that. And these are strong men. Men I would go, and when I've had a friend call me, and when he told me what he was going through, I was in shock, because this is a guy who sounded like he could beat me up. I was like, and he was crying. I'm like, oh no.
Here in the UK?
In the UK, and you're like, wow. Because if think about it, if my wife should call the police and say, my husband beat me up, I'm sorry, I'm in trouble. Because nobody would, they would take a word for it long before anyone believes my side of the story. So men get battered. And now, women who want to be mischievous, I wouldn't say, well, most women are not, I would want to believe that. Women who want to be mischievous would use that. They know, well, it's my story against yours, so you will be in trouble anyway. What I would advise those men, what I would say is, if you're a man, if you see that this is the pattern, leave. There's no make we manage them.
Just exactly what you say to a woman.
That's it.
If you're getting battered,
if you're getting battered, leave. There is no point.
But isn't there also an element of shame, that men, I mean, if a man comes out, the other day when this question was read, all the girls started laughing.
Yeah, they do.
Everybody started laughing. So isn't such a big, there's so much shame attached to it that men find it difficult to come forward and to say, this is what's happening to me.
A friend told me and I was shocked. So I can imagine how, and I'm his friend, and I'm like, oh God, I really don't want to hear this. So you can imagine how much every other person would feel if someone, because we would think, especially being an African man, you're taught to die. You're not a man now. You're not a man. So to now come out and say, this is what I went through. But we have to, we as the people listening, we have to give people a chance to come out.
Right.
So when we hear those stories, we shouldn't see it as weakness. We should see it as, oh good, he came out.
Yeah, he came out.
Because that's the only way. If we condemn the people, we go, shh, my friend, don't talk for outside. Then a lot of men will die.
Because this question, the first part of this question assumes it doesn't even happen in Nigeria too, and I disagree. It happens in Nigeria.
I'm sure it does.
Actually, recently on social media, there was a lot of talk about men getting beaten too, and there was a particular case of a radio show where a man had called in to report that he was being beaten, and the wife snatched the phone off him.
It does. I'm sure it does happen to a lot of men. Even you see a lot of movies, and I don't like Nigerian movies in that sense, where they're having an argument in a movie and the husband will just slap the wife, or the wife will slap the husband. I'm like, why should that be? And sometimes that kind of just pass by violence domestic violence is just okay. We leave the movie. Everyone just asks, they just go, oh, where are you going to? Don't talk to me like that. Pass. And that's not even the main issue of the movie. So it's like they agree with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, so that you get that. And if movies are supposed to be a depiction of a society, I would assume a lot of men still get slapped in the face.
Yeah. Okay, so but your advice, whether it's happening in Nigeria or in the UK, leave. Whatever the man is.
It is not what you want to now.
Men find it harder to leave marriages than women, apparently.
Really?
If a woman is ready to go, she's ready to go. Men kind of hang in there longer.
Yeah, because he can eat his cake and have it, really.
Yeah.
He can still stay there, still just
do what he likes.
Do what he likes. So he can just hang it.
So, but with this case of battery, though.
In this case, battery, walk away.
Walk away.
No, I'm married. This is what I'm my wife. I'm not go. Don't touch me. I won't touch you. Let's argue. I'll argue. Let's argue. Don't hit me. I won't hit you. Let's talk. And if you get too angry, walk away.
Walk away.
There's no
stories.
No stories, because you would think about it. I spend my days at the gym, and I'm always at the gym. If I batter a person, they go batter and well. And again, one thing I try to do is, even when I've got a daughter, I try not to be angry when I have to discipline her.
Yeah.
Because if you're reacting through anger, you are going to overreact.
You know what a friend of mine told me years ago? She said to me, you have to understand what this is. This is about power. That no matter how frustrated you get, you are not going to hit Muhammad Ali.
Yes,
You are
exactly.
not going to hit Anthony Joshua.
Because
You're not going to hit either of those men. So if you have enough restraints, if you have enough restraints not to hit a man or hit an area boy with a knife, you're not going to do that.
Well, because you know your power with this person, so you lash out.
Yes.
And I think that lashing out is weakness in itself, because that means you have no argument left.
Oh, you've answered my other question. You've answered the question I wanted you to help me with. Actually. Let me still read it because you know how these people are. You say, Auntie FUNMI, you say, you're going to read my question, blah, blah, blah. All right, Just Emma says, Just Emma 2001 says, Hi, Fumilola. I don't agree, but would love to hear your thoughts on this. I say the man is responsible for his actions and not the woman. So he sent this question, he or she, Emma, sent the question with a screen grab of something someone said. And this is what the person said. This is one thing I'm cautious to say, but seriously, women, stop invoking violence in your men. Stop it. So Emma is saying, me, I don't agree, but I want to hear what you have to say about this. So do women invoke violence in their men?
I am afraid about this question. This kind of questions, it's any which way you can walk into a trap and you walk into, it's almost, I will call those kind of questions these blue lives matter kind of questions where people say Black Lives Matter and you say, but Blue Lives Matter. No, don't, that's not where to say Blue Lives Matter because you're kind of justifying that. You're kind of creating a problem somewhere. Now, what I would say is, yes, some women know, if me and you live together, you know my weaknesses. You know my trigger point. You know my trigger points. You know the things. You know if I smell when I wake up. You know if the way some very details about me that would hurt my soul. Even so, the thing is, what people would do in that sense is that some women will go, okay, I'm losing this argument. I will use that thing that I know to hurt this person. And they will do that. Now, men, because a lot of men, we're sometimes not good with words, we're more reactionary. So the guy goes, oh, you've now hurt me.
Is that nature or nurture? Are men trained, born that way, or they socialize that way?
A bit of both. It's some part of it is instinct. If someone hurts you, you feel they need to you want to lash out. But nurture could be, your society could make sure that that thing that is buried inside you comes out. So in a way, you have to just go, now this is what I do. I tell myself, no matter what she says, it does not, first of all, you have to realize we're not enemies. So only your enemy you will realize. So since we're not enemies, so no matter what you say to me, I cannot lash out. I have to realize that I cannot do that. I cannot. Yes, it would hurt. Seriously, of course, it will hurt your soul because you're like, I've given you my greatest secret. I've told you now. Like I don't want to say women. You should help us and not say those things.
But isn't it the classic example we just gave of Anthony Joshua, area boy, and all of that? Now that it's really opportunity and power.
Yeah.
Because, men say, I've been in a relationship the same way where he knows my trigger is triggering me every morning. I don't punch him because I know if I punch him, he'll probably punch me and I will pass out.
Sure.
You know, that sort of thing. Actually, I've never put myself in that kind of situation. Other things, yes. The word he used was violence, that they invoke violence in their men.
But I don't want to, because to me, I worry about that because that means we're still justifying the actions of those men and not making them realize that there is no excuse.
Yeah.
Because it's almost, that kind of situation it becomes a case like rape. What was she wearing? She's a stripper now, so didn't she deserve it? Or she was naked here. So that kind of like, but she was in my room. We have to create that situation that there is no excuse. So if we start from that, we will get somewhere. But if we still make that little leeway out of, maybe she vexed Samo. People would pounce on that. Men who want to use that as their excuse would use that. Because people want to justify their actions.
Why do you think that people don't realize that women too, they vex so? You know, it's like this kind of thing. Do they not think that men invoke real anger? You know, we don't consider women as creatures who get really violently angry too.
But we just, a lot of times we just feel that if you're angry, you just vex. Most you go break something. You can't beat, if you're angry with me, you can't beat me up. You can't pound. Most of the time, the women won't be able to pound the guy. So people, that kind of thing doesn't really. If my wife gets angry and she breaks the TV, I think we just go, oh, it's just love. You know, that's the way people see it. Oh, she's just love. But if a man does it, that's serious.
Yeah.
So it's powerful. I think we should not give these men any excuse. No excuse. We should treat it the way we treat rape. No excuse. There is no, oh, she was in my room. Because if we give that, I always worry about giving a little excuse, a little way out. Because if you create a gray area, people will pass through.
I think that most of all is I would like a world where people take responsibility for their actions, their thoughts, their reactions. You are not, nobody's, yes, she might say these things that trigger you, but it is your reaction.
It is a choice.
It is still a choice. It is still you.
Decide.
Because the other example is to give, your boss triggers you.
Yeah, you will punch him now.
You know, it's like all these people now, you say, I've seen some of them, like, if they say, I didn't say I should come now, and I didn't abuse your mama, abuse them. They say, oh, sir, sorry, sir. And then they can go home
and their wife
confused and complain, but they're not going to hit him.
No, they would.
So I think that the yardstick is really anybody you consider more powerful than you, whatever you are not going to do, because I don't imagine anybody wanting to rape Mr. Adenuga.
No.
Yep.
Yeah,
they're not going to want to try that. So if you use that,
I would assume that's really.
I mean, I'm not want to get somebody's going to cut that bit now and say that she says that they should go. I didn't say that. Okay, you know, I've got to leave these things. I want to talk about you. And before then, I've been waiting to do this. Just take off the jacket. Let me see the muscles. You feel?
I'm tired. Okay. Because I am vain, I would just submit myself.
You're gonna show me this took a lot of work, let's see.
Slightly, a few years.
Yes.
But it's not, I've not been to the gym today, so I'm not.
You go every day, don't you?
Well, about 5 days a week.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I touch it?
Oh, feel free.
Oh, man.
See, this is the sexism we complain about, isn't it? Because if it was, if it was me touching one another, what are you touching on that? It's...
What? I just wanted to see it closer because I see you in the gym every day on social media lifting. When you did Tough Mudder twice.
So I should do this year, but I damaged my toe last year.
That thing looked tough.
It is. You feel it.
I feel it through the.
You feel it.
Skin.
My wife went with me. She was taking pictures. And when I finished, I went, oh, next year we'll do it together. And she went, what it, honey?
This is what I love about you and your wife. She looks like she can't be bothered with any of that rubbish.
No,
she just seems to run her own thing, do her own thing.
We are the weird thing is we're almost two different people. We're probably two seriously different people. But one thing I realized that in a relationship, it's not sometimes what you have in common, it's the respect you have for each other's differences. So if I'm in our car, she's listening to whatever gospel music she's listening to, whatever kind of music she's listening to, and I just keep quiet and go, okay, I have to listen to this. And that's it. I want to just move on. And when she's in my car, if it's St. Janet, whatever bog or music you can get that is just straight to hell, like the fastest music that can take you to hell, that's what I'm listening to, and that's what we're listening. That's what I'm listening to in my car. So but she would respect that. It's taken a long time for her to go, okay, but I realized, you know what, we have to respect what, you do your thing, you wouldn't get any question from me. I wouldn't get, well, fundamentally, I love you, you love me, I know that. So I've never, my greatest fear is that, I don't know where I got it from, but I remember watching something, and I heard the woman say, I regret marrying you. The woman was telling the man, and they were already old and they were together. And They were still married.
They spent a lifetime together of regrets.
Regrets.
Oh,
Like,
that's horrible.
she kind of, it's like she changed over the years. And to me, I've always told my wife and I told myself, and I don't want a case where 20, 30 years down the line, hopefully, she goes, I regret it. Because I want a case where whatever you want to do, every decision you made has to be the one you made.
Right.
Not the one I kind of,
So a marriage of equals?
yeah, I want
That's
to.
unusual. That's not Nigerian way, really.
Yeah,
Because, the Nigerian way is the man is the head of the house and the decisioner.
But I have no, my ego no big like that. My ego no big like that. I'm like, okay, fair enough. My own case is don't just do something silly that's going to create problems for both of us. Because that's not fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try not to do that, so you don't do that.
And you do this thing, you're sort of like a daddy dad.
I love being a dad.
Yeah, you're a little girl.
I love being a dad. I look at the kind of dad I wish I had.
I see you cooking and doing all kinds of things with her, dressing up and doing all kinds of things with your daughter.
Yeah, I look at my dad. My dad was a typical African dad. You know, he comes into the room. You know all those African dads, if he comes back from work, sits down, all of you waka come out. You know, that kind of like, you couldn't. I remember one time dad was taking us to, was it Abeokuta or somewhere in Ogun State, and we sat in the car for hours and nobody said a word to each other. You know, because we were in that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I also remember one time my dad had food poisoning and he was in the room. And he went, oh, can you go and get me so tablets? We went to get him the tablet, gave it to him. And not once did we go into the room to
check on him.
To check on him. Because we didn't have that. Yeah, he could have died in that room and no one would have.
I've always felt it was a trap both ways. You know, for the person put on a pedestal, it's also a trap because then you don't get the support, the openness, the love that any human being needs to. Yeah.
I think, and again, they didn't know better. Their parents treated them a certain way, so they just
repeat it.
They just repeat it. I think to myself, how would I have wanted my dad to have treated situations?
Right. Do it differently.
To do things differently. I want a case where she's a girl. I want a case where whatever happens to her in school, because now a lot of stories, you hear stories of abuse.
So that she feels free to come
to
you.
If something happens, she will come and go, this is what happened.
Yeah.
And she's not afraid, because a lot of times we have parents who they're afraid. So if the daughter goes through anything or the kid goes through anything,
you know what I say to my daughter? I've said it to her from very young, and I say it as often as I can to her, that you cannot disgrace me. You know that thing they say in Nigeria, I don't bring disgrace home. I say nothing you do can disgrace me. I don't care what anybody thinks about you. I can be disappointed in some of your decisions, think, oh, you can do better than this, but you cannot disgrace me. So those have that sense of, I will be there. My job is to be your biggest supporter until I take my last breath.
Yeah. I've got a picture that I think I posted on Instagram one time, and it was my daughter and I holding hands. It was a while back. And I said, even through thick and thin, through dark times, I will hold your hand. That's and the issue became, I remember one time I was at the barbers, African barbers. Conversation led to being gay, not being gay, homosexuality. And you know Africans, they go hysterical. And next thing, this woman went, she had a kid. And she went, if my Peking gay, I go kill him. And I was scared. Because I'm thinking, geez, if that's the reaction she would have to something like that, I hate to see what kind of reaction she would have to other things.
And why would you think of your own child, you know, whatever happens to them, that you would want to kill them? And
I'm like, and everybody goes, oh, Wale, what if because they always want to put it back to you. What if your son again? Or what if your daughter again? Really? And
actually, I'll be more worried if my daughter turned out to be a Nigerian politician that steals a lot of money. I think that's really immoral.
Exactly. And that's because they have religious morality.
But not, you know.
They have religious morality. So the problem I have with religious morality is that religion has one problem that I have with it. If I can ask for forgiveness after every time I do something wrong,
then that's carte blanche.
There is a problem. Like, that means I can get away with anything and just go, God forgive me, then I start in a clean state. Then when there's really no, that's religion. But I say when you have like proper empathy, when you think about it and you go, oh, how would I feel if it is done to me? what I tell my daughter is, if I go, don't push people. And I just don't say don't push people because God said don't push people. That's rubbish talk. I'm like, don't push people because how would you feel if someone
was
done to you? And she goes, I wouldn't like it.
Talking about pushing, you push yourself from a normal guy to a tough mother.
Yeah.
Why?
I woke up one day, came back from America, and we do this. There was time we do this yearly tour. They still do it with Jedi, a Nigerian comedian based in America, my very good friend, my brother. With other Nigerian, we came back. I think it was in 2013 or 12. Came back from I did about 4 or 5 cities. Came back from America. I'd eaten so much. I'd ballooned big time, and I walked. You come out of bed one day, and I walked in front of the mirror, and I thought, nah, I don't. You just go, nah, I don't like this. I felt like I was disappearing, and I used to be a vain person. So to somehow feel I was disappearing, and I was going through a lot in my head. The tour went a bit funny because first of all I was dealing with other Nigerian comics. That's another different politics on its own.
I'm coming to that bit.
Oh, there was another issue on its own. I felt there was I didn't really gel well with some things that happened around the tour. So I came back down. Weeks later, I felt I'm joining the gym. And it has helped. It has not only helped me as a person, it has also helped me even in my marriage. If my wife and I get into an argument about something, I just go, okay, I'm going to the gym. Walk out, come back and go, okay, it wasn't really that serious. That need to be angry. I don't need to be angry. I don't. So I've gone to go and do some punching bag and go, okay.
But you do a lot.
Because I like food.
I mean, I watch you, there's leg day, and you wear all these costumes. There was one you wore, I could swear. I thought it was, this one is Temo. I saw one that you wore that was flesh colored. I thought, Wale has got this wearing nothing.
I cannot tell you the number of times I always feel there was a time I used to criticize I used to think Charlie Boy, like, why is this real? Like, my always just showing place. Now I admire him because I'm almost like that. And again, my wife is always like, don't post that picture, please. Someone's good because people
come to her.
People come to her and they go, oh, we always see your husband naked. And she's like, oh, I don't want to keep fighting for you every time. But so slowly I have to look at the picture and go, okay, she might not like it. She would go. Because sometimes I've posted pictures and she goes, no,
I think sometimes it's also the angles.
Yeah, sometimes the angles, it's not my fault.
Like, what? It's me. I like it, and all I'm thinking of is the business bit. I'm thinking, gosh, Wale needs to make a living, an extra living out of it. And then I saw, after a while, a few men. There was actually one that I actually screen grabbed. I saw this man who said he was inspired by you. And he was a typical Nigerian man. That's not the kind of person who would say, I admire another man openly. And he said it as he admired you. And you could see his body changing because he was...
Now I get people who go, they will DM me, Wale, please, I beg. I like how you do it. Because they do not want to publicly admit that they see. I see Nigerian men at events and they go, oh, I see what you do. I do what you go. And you're like, then why can you... They don't want to... Because to them is... I am secure with my own sexuality, so I do not, to say another man is good looking or it does not really bother me. But they can't. If you go talk, say the guy fine, or you go talk, say him body nice, now people go think, say you be one kind. Really? Let them think, say you be one kind. That's their problem to deal with. So they have their own issues.
But are you going to take it beyond a hobby? Are you going to build a business around it? I'm sure you get a lot of that.
I get a lot of that. I get a lot of like, okay, Wale, let's film it together. Let's, we'll do like a DVD session, like Keten Show. Keten Show is a DVD and shit. It's part of my self. What was the word I was looking for earlier? Self
improvements.
No. I keep telling myself no one's gonna watch it.
Oh
no
gosh,
one's,
no.
No one's. I have. It's my problem. I can't.
Oh gosh, no.
I go.
Let me tell you a story. And I don't really like to talk about this, because I became unwell in 2014, and it's one of those things that are.
I think I found out way later that you mentioned.
Yeah, and I had 2 years where I wasn't well, and it was operation after operation after. It was really tough, dark period. I'm not completely out of it, But then, I went from a person who exercised regularly, who enjoyed it too. I couldn't walk 10 minutes. There was a stage where I was walking on crutches, and I used to watch you for inspiration that one day I'm going to get well enough to exercise with Wale.
That's a lot, boy.
Yes. I used to, as I'm saying it to you now, I used to think that, oh gosh, one day. And so oftentimes when people look at these things, they always think about it as a vanity thing, or as if it's more than that. It's the totality of a person. You don't know who's sick, who's needing that to get them back. It's not always about people. For example, I've never had a weight problem, so this is not about weight. But I liked being strong. I like being able to do the things I want to do, and I would like to be able to do that. So I beg of you to kill that bit of you. I mean, it's even beyond DVD. I would say
people who do they do.
And in London, you don't have enough. I mean, the Nigerian community in London, for example, who know you, they don't have that. So there's a business waiting.
There's even a business for it in Nigeria. There is one, but I am the worst person when I'm always like, you know what, Wale, no one's gonna work that. Just leave it. Don't get into you. Fear is a problem. I always say fear drives me to do, or fear has driven me to. Fear drives me on stage. Fear drives me off stage. Because when I'm on stage, I am afraid that this today would go wrong. I've been doing this since 2001, and I still tell myself every time before I perform, today would go wrong. No one's gonna laugh today. Today is the day where this whole thing would unravel.
Is that why you because I've always also asked myself about you, why did you leave Nigeria? Because comedy in Nigeria is big. The comedians do well. They're not just doing well in Nigeria, they're doing well outside of Nigeria. And you not only left Nigeria and seemingly left stand-up comedy, you went into a niche, sort of like wedding MC. And I've seen the videos, you're good at the weddings. I don't know how you deal with Nigerians with money. I do not know.
I don't deal with them, they deal with me. I have to remind myself, Wale, they don't pay you, so don't take it personal, they don't pay you. Yeah.
So I'll come to that, but I've always thought, because now that you're telling me, this is Ask For Me, and I give people my opinion whether they want it or not. I've always thought, isn't Wale limiting himself?
Yeah, I am. Now, to be honest, I see the guys in Nigeria. I'm sorry. Some of the guys I go, really? Is that what you're talking about now? Is that the level of the conversation now? Well, I tell myself that I make excuses. I'm the first person to go, well, why don't I just leave it? I don't want to do what they do. And again, I want to be free. I feel Nigerian comedy is this way. Stand in front of powerful people and make fun of poor people. That's the Ajepako route.
Yeah.
Oh, for VI, we they do this one. For Lekki, we they do this. Then Ajepako, they do
all
this
those ones, they sound like this. They get accent. They get
and say duh. So you want that's the dynamics of it. I hate that. I want to look at powerful people and kind of just say something that's gonna go. You laugh, but you joke, and you just go, oh God, should I be angry? That kind of thing in your head. I don't like when comedians have to be stupid to make rich people laugh. I hate that thing. No, I don't want to do that. And I feel if I'm in the Nigerian system, and no offense to my friends, most of them are good guys, they're my friends, they do that. And a lot of the Nigerian comedians they're attached to the church.
Everybody.
They're attached to the church. And I'm sorry, they can get upset with this. It's a scam. Every Nigerian comedian who is attached to the church, because there is a scam. It's a scam. I'm sorry, they would hate me for it, but it is. Because there's a big market there. And it is a business. So they go, well, if I attach to this church, well, it brings clients. Now, I don't go to church. So I don't see I see myself, I won't be, and again, I want to be able to say what I believe. In Nigerian society, I do not think I'll be able to do that. Even someone like Alibaba, it's taking him years to be able to do that. It's taking him years to be able to, now he says things and I'm like, oh, you could have done that years ago. It's so I don't want to wait that long. I want to be able to speak to power now. Would I be able to do it in Nigeria? Nah. Yeah, I remember doing an event when I was in Nigeria with a governor. It was a governor that was there, and he's one of those governors causing trouble now. You understand? I don't want to say his state. Anyway, and it was and he said something.
Ekiti? No? Shall I keep going?
Anyway, and he said, and as I was talking, I remember it was myself and Kofi. I don't want to tell you the dynamics of the people there because I don't care. And I went, and I said something. I said, they said governor thief money. And he went, and he said this exact words to me, I'll never forget. Now your money then thief. And I looked at him and I went, so if to say Nami put the security way there outside, I forgive your reply. Because I'm like, I really want to give you a piece of my mind now. And he went, talk now. And I laughed. And I just thought, yeah, okay, Wale, no, you're going to get locked up here. That's what I want to do. I want to be able to reply. Power. I want to be able to look at people. But in Nigerian society, you can't do that. Yeah. You won't get work if you do that.
Yeah, I know that. It's interesting. So
there's money.
But some people argue that it's arrogance. That you're just arrogant. You're just being arrogant. You know.
I am.
I like that.
I
like that. You know, I really like that.
No,
I like that. Says, you know, that is my arrogance.
No.
And you know, I defined it this way that, you know, God bless you. I see people morph and fold and flatten and do what they have to do, and I have admiration for it.
No,
but I'm not like that.
For me, I would. The reason why I have a problem. If I see something, if I don't say it, that's why sometimes like in Twitter I get into trouble. On Twitter I get into trouble. If I see something, I have to say it because I don't know. I can't. Gigi Abbas, my very good person, he would go, Wale, not be everything you could talk. Just let it go. Don't say it. The same way, even at home with my wife, if she tells me about something, a family member, Wale, do you know so family member did this? I'm like, eh. When I see that family member, I cannot lie. Because I feel at the back of my mind, I am dishonest. I am dishonest. I will tell you. My mom used to tell me, Bishop Olubumi Okoje, my mom, the Cardinal Okoje, is a family member. My mom would tell me about a story. It was about never tell him anything. Because if you tell him anything, he will wait till he sees that person and he goes, oh, do you know what Maria said? She said, and I have always admired that ability to say. So if you're my friend, you will always know where I stand on anything. Because I will tell you this is where I stand. There will be no lie. I do not, and the reason why those guys they're not arrogant, they can't afford to be arrogant, is because I feel they need to conform so that they can meet up. So obviously if they conform, money will come in. And they can live up to whatever standards they want. Now, me, in Konikon Wumi, as we say, like other people's things, I do not. If you have a Bentley, wonderful. I have no aspiration to own what you own. If it's mine, it's mine. If it's yours, so because of that, wherever I am content within myself. So my arrogance is like, well, I'm content, I'm okay, so I can tell you what I think. You do not feed me. Or gary me. So this is how I feel. That's how I feel. And I would not go, oh, maybe if I just bend myself backwards small a bit and do this for you, maybe it would help me make more money. Nah. Nah. That's why I do not really like getting along with politicians. Because there are politicians that I've gotten along well with. I've done events for them in this country. And I realize that they say something crazy later, and I'm like, oh, I can't comment on that because it is so weird.
Yeah.
So I can't do that. And I don't like that. That's why if you're a politician and you call me for an event, I try if I can get away with it, if I can get away with not doing it, because I want to be able to one day tell you that was shit.
Right. It's the Fela effect, and Fela and the Gani effect, where how do you build a business and a livelihood that doesn't depend on anybody so that you can be honest, They say this is what I say. Well, look, I'm going to leave that quickly before you ask me the question, because you and I can sit there all day. I wanted to find out how you the wedding MC. How did you corner that?
Yes, I've been, obviously, I do stand-up. I still miss stand-up. Once in a while, I still go on stage and do stand-up. Yeah, a lot of times they go, oh, Wale, I do stand-up. I still do. Now, but with wedding MCs, it just slowly became something I don't want to say perfected. I like weddings. It's amazing that everything, it's the beginning of these two people's lives. It is, I sometimes think, thanks to Bella Niger, it has exploded now. You know, I think even as a wedding MC, it's a competition. I see what's good. And I like the dynamics of the way weddings go. Yeah. The family politics that people bring into weddings, the background stories, and you think, Jesus Christ, I hope these people don't beat each other after today. You know, you can see so many things how they're like. You can say, because you can almost tell that. You see both of them and you go, oh shit. You can see where the problems, you can see the great qualities they have. And you go, sometimes you also wish, I hope they see this great thing and keep it. Because whatever they're doing now, this is wonderful. And at what point in time during the marriage do they lose that sparkle? So I enjoy it. And weddings also, everybody comes into a wedding emotional. My job as a wedding MC, which over time I've understood, is I cannot be emotional.
Yeah.
I have to be logical. I have to think, okay, this wouldn't work. This would work. Okay, you're on stage. And with weddings, you have to be careful. Whatever you say, you can't just, whatever material you can say at a stand-up comedy club, you can't say it at a wedding.
Yeah.
You have to be careful what you say and go, okay, but still entertain them. I just love it.
Yeah, it shows really, and you know, you also have a style. You know, all this working out, you know, you wear all these tight suits.
Yeah,
and tight.
I know. I have brides who go, excuse me, I don't know, I can't use you for my wedding because I can't because my husband, he will see you, he's seen your pictures. I'm like, I'm not going to come to your wedding without shirts now. I mean, don't feel insecure about that. It's nothing to do with it. But I love weddings. And again, especially if you're dealing with Africans, you're standing in front of people, Africans who, I know they hear, excuse me, can you please stand up, please? Stand up for me. What? So you have to, it's that skill of, you know,
you hone your skill that way because you are dealing with a tough audience.
With a tough audience, and you realize that you have to be affirmative. Is that the word? Like, this is what we say. You're funny, you know, you're polite, but you can let them know that at any point in time, well, they share with a FUNMI. So weddings now, they look at me as, you get people go, oh, Wale. So that one, you know. so some of the, because I love to push boundaries, even at weddings. You go, because my job, I go there and I go, okay, what can I say? What can I say? What can I get?
What can I get away with?
What can I get away with? What can I get away? And what I do is I will keep pushing.
I have an idea for a stand-up show.
What's the idea? No, let me hear.
The wedding party.
The wedding party.
Not the film.
Like a stand-up.
You talk about, you know, all of this, you know. Because I think that's here.
I've seen things.
You know, because I think that just listening to you, I'm like, God, this is a whole script. A whole script that you can.
Weddings. I remember I was wedding in Wood Green. Oh God, I hope they don't narrate down to where it is. Wedding, and next thing, we're like, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the latest couple in town. Everyone's standing, call them in, doors open, they didn't come in. Where husband, where wife? Where husband, where wife? Where husband, where wife? I'm like, hey, the music is playing, I'm thinking, come on. Anyway, I've gone, okay, you know what, I better go look for them. So I've gone out of the hall, gone to the next thing, there's a room at the corner. I mean, leave me. The groomsmen are holding the guy, he wants to beat up his wife. I'm like, are you kidding? No.
On the wedding day?
No, not on their wedding day. On their wedding to enter the hall. This guy's, I said, leave me. I'm thinking, no. I don't know why. And it's like, they proper holding this guy. She's in the corner and she's thinking, the two of you nuts? As in, Eshure, this is that devil be this now. This is no, this not juju because I don't believe in it. But this must be how they say juju works because I don't get it. And I had to go, and I said, leave him. And I went, look, not today. Whatever you're gonna do, whatever she said, I think what must have happened is they must have been having some little thing, and just before I called them, she must have said something, and that just. Boom! That just blew him, and he lost his mind. And in my head, I'm thinking, this shit can't work. I finally calmed him down. The interesting thing is, they danced in like I'd not just witnessed that they were about to kill each other a few minutes ago. Now I'm doing my routine, and I'm going. You can see the love in their eyes. I feel like the greatest hypocrite ever. I felt like I was like you know, and like you see this wonderful love. I'm sure they probably go, yeah. Just help us come out this lie. The interesting thing is, so then years later they have 2 kids and they look wonderful. So hey,
wow,
you can't really.
You've got to put this in the stand-up. You've got to do that.
So what can you say? You can't just, you know, and you also go to weddings where they wanted the stage was there. You know, they have a stage where the husband it was a long family that was weird. The mother of the bride, it was like all the mother of the bride and groom, the mother of the bride, they've gone to go and marry other people.
Oh, mixed families.
Yeah, they've gone to marry, and it's like so now every other person decided that they were going to have their own dance in.
So the mother and her new partner and the father
and the new partner and that one,
it
was a weird. No, there was one of them that did not have a partner. I felt sorry for that one because that one just, you know. Then one of them was married to a white guy. So there was another white guy, and I bet I just was still thinking like, okay, what did I get myself into this mess
oh
now?
My God.
I think I felt out of place like, I could just I get the white guy Yoruba voice like, you know, like what is all this I've just put myself into? But you kind of, those kind of family politics, you know, and that's, you know, you enjoy it. Yeah. Another one I called.
Okay,
I called the wrong groom's name.
You can't tell us all these stories. I mean, this is my show. Like, I want to see these stories on stage.
Yeah, but you always get scared that they would spot the people who spot it.
No, we would change it.
We change the items.
We change everything around because they're great. And I like your comedic voice. Your comedic voice is strong.
I do not like the ones saying that. I feel bad for doing this. I do not like the. You can't enjoy me.
But you know what I'm going to say to you today? Because I too have been there, and because I'm older, whether you like it or not.
But you don't look old.
Yeah, well, I'm a vampire.
Whatever you're eating, the right thing.
What I'm going to say to you today is, I need you to take all this energy from what people are doing that's not on, to what Wale will do that's on.
Yeah, that should happen.
Because we've got only a limited amount of time here, and your job is actually to put your own shit out there. And I think that I'm talking from experience, so I'm not judging you. I'm saying I have also failed in that way, and I've learned differently. You know the beauty about being sick for a long time? Everybody leaves you the fuck alone. Okay, I'll say that again. Everybody leaves you the blip alone. So you have time to see everything, to see yourself, to see your strength, to see your weaknesses, you know. And so I think that there are 2 things that I'd like to see. And that's not to take away from everything you've done. You've done great. I can just see how you're at the cusp of the next thing. And I am pushing you in that direction because I'm really good at it.
I want to be like someone who mentioned, and it will shock you. I want to be like AY. You go, why AY? AY, that's a Nigerian community. Mm-hmm. AY has this thing. AY has something I wish I had, and I still sometimes wish I had. AY, when I have an idea, I spend too much time overthinking it. Over, you know, I like now. If you tell me or AY, let's fight a joke about this cup, I would spend time trying to come up with something that would make people go, "Wow, that's an educated joke." That's just smart. AY does not waste his time.
It just goes.
It just goes on a rant on some what I will call nonsense. And next thing that works. And I'm like, oh no. So when I'm spending 6 months thinking about something or a year thinking about something, the first idea in his head, he's run with it. He's gone with it. And that becomes, and there's a full body, and maybe he tries to perfect it on the way. Or he's still in its raw form, just leaves it like that. And you think, oh shit, he's run so far ahead while I'm still playing with an idea. So so kind of sometimes I wish I was like that.
There are different types of artists. There are some people who craft things more. I think that the idea is to just tell yourself to get on it, even whilst you are crafting it. Be crafting it, and to lose fear.
Fear is, some people handle. One of the things I want to teach my daughter is to handle fear. It's to handle failure. Mm-hmm. You will fail, but you are not a failure.
Yeah.
Now, I was never taught how to handle failure, and I was never good. So I am always a safe person. I have to be safe. Everything I would think about and I go, what is safe? Is this? So everything has to be. So even when I write a material, I have to think it and go, okay, this is it. And sometimes I say a material on stage, and if it doesn't work, I'll drop it. Problem is, I know that if I tweak some things here and there, it would work. But I wouldn't do that. And next thing, maybe a few weeks down the line or years down, I see someone make that same material, and they've tweaked just a few bits, and it's funny. I'm like, oh God, that was my. So one of the things I want to learn is to learn to understand and do failure better.
Yeah.
Because some people, I always feel if I fail, I'm always scared of failure. If I fail at doing something.
But life is a failure. We die. That is the biggest failure. We are going to die. Yeah. Life is a big old
some people can
failure, but good failure. I think it's, once again, I don't want to be sounding like a broken record. That's the beauty of being sick for a while and being bedridden and facing death. Because you suddenly realize that all of those other things don't matter. These are the things that matter. And the other thing I recommend is getting constantly abused in social media. Once that happens and you cannot fear anybody, let them be abused.
That's why the Yorubas of social media, the hashtag, I love those women, because they don't have any. The skeletons that we are hiding in our cupboard, they have brought their own skeletons out. So they're not, whatever you say.
There's a song that I learned. I grew up partly in Shomolu, then Mile 2. Oh, there's a song.
Shomolu la no.
So babu mi ebu so abiwa.
My side of Shomolu did not sing that song.
We sang one of the things I like about that song is that phrase ebu so. That is, if you like, you can abuse me. It doesn't grow from the ground. We don't live on this. That's your opinion. And I like the sense. I've been tunneling back into the things I learned in my childhood. In Oyo, when I was growing up, there were all these older women. When you misbehave towards them, they never dressed you down. They never got involved. They were like nature. They would look you up and down. They would just say, on level. Sort of like, I see you.
Yeah, I see you. But
it don't matter.
Can't be bothered.
Dismiss, delete. And I'm thinking, yes, we can learn that.
Now,
question.
My question. Are you religious, agnostic, or atheist?
Ooh, interesting. Oh, this is very interesting. So I was...
Because I need to build an alliance.
I actually saw you talking about it. I was smiling in my mind. I grew up raised very religiously. Not the early part of my life when my mother was still alive. We were nominally Christian. And then later on, we became Jehovah's Witnesses, and I was quite religious at that point up to university. And then from university, I became a born-again Christian, And then afterwards, it's this thing with the Nigerian version of Christianity. When I started going to the church, the more successful I became with my career, the more I realized that people wanted to use me as a sort of like a talisman in church. So it's like this, she goes to this our church, and I can see how it's all linked. It's the same thing you were saying earlier. And I've always never wanted to deceive God, if you know what I mean. So I used to be agnostic. I became agnostic. I was like, I don't even know. But then I'm no longer agnostic. I believe in God, but I don't believe in their version of God.
Well, yeah.
So the God idea to me is really fascinating. So my idea of God is actually the creative force. You know, I believe that there's a creative force that passes through all of us, from nature, from grass to all of us, you know, and that you have ability to connect with that creative force and to do really, really special things. And that's part of my own journey now, actually, how to then do really, you know, get that force to trust me, to entrust me to do special things. So I'm not religious in that sense. I do not go to church, you know. I do not go to mosque. I do not go to the synagogue. I do not go to any of those things because that's not to take anything from those who do. I don't need religion to know God. Some people need religion to know God. I don't need religion to know God. And once again, my own idea of God is not some white old man in heaven.
With long beard.
With long beard. It's not. No, and he's not the one making these nasty rules, dividing people up and down, and being so unduly fascinated with his age-old enemy called the devil. So they are very fascinating stories. I think I can see how those stories have been used to organize societies in the past. I don't think they work as well now, you know, but I do think that people need something. And if it isn't injurious to other people, fine. But for me, personally, my concept of God is much more expansive, you know, and much more, I think, you know, functional in that sense, and it's very connected. I would repeat to you again, I think that what we should concern ourselves actually about are the people who we have entrusted with certain things that involves the rest of us. That is the only place where actually I'm like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that because
people with power,
the scale of it, the scale of their decisions can ruin a lot of lives. Or you know, but in terms of individual, people are on a journey. Some of them will change their mind, some will not change their mind. And you know, it's very important to. I say this to my own daughter every day. Stay on your own journey. Have laser focus, because really the fascinating thing about life is that everybody is in competition for energy. Everybody, and what they do, because energy is what drives us as human beings. So everybody tries to take from another. So all the drama they are bringing towards you is an attempt to take your energy and your creative force. And you know, nature is indifferent. This is what I'm talking about God. It will replace you. It will replace you. You know, so what you want to do is laser focus. All of that material, put it in the art. And you are a creative soul, you are an artistic soul. Man, that's what we're going to see. And we need more of that coming out of Nigeria in particular, because particularly where we are in Nigeria, where we feel so helpless, other than maybe a revolution or something like that. What you can
my
then
rule is,
do,
if I get into power, I close half of the churches and half of them.
so part of power is
They will kill me
creative
for that.
power. So put it in your art. I read Zola's books about France, you know, at a particular time when France, if you read Oliver Twist, it tells you about a time in this country where they were having poor houses, when this country was in that kind of situation. If he didn't write that book, we won't have that snapshot into that time. You know, so we all have different roles. And for those who are artistic and creative, I think it's important to be relentlessly selfish about your art, about your work, your writing, your comedy, your films, your whatever.
I just worry about
Stop worrying.
because I can't let people get away with the wrong.
But you are the one who is calling it wrong. Nature is indifferent.
So yes, so when I see someone who's giving, I'm like, no, don't give them that gray area. Don't give them gray area. Because if you give them gray area,
Wale.
I have to learn. It's a lot.
Wale's wife, Lanre. This is what Auntie Fumi has said to your husband. Laser focus, no judgment, no worry, slay the fear.
No, I don't judge. Judgment is what I don't give. But I would.
No, judgment is saying it shouldn't be that way.
It shouldn't be gray.
You can take facts, you know, and say this doesn't work for now. And you must remember things are in a continuum. What doesn't work today might be what will be working tomorrow.
Oh yes, I was one of those people who thought, "Oh, Brisket, this shit will die soon." This fan.
I love Brisket.
No, What does he say?
Because Bobrisky is not unusual. The country had Dan Daudus. We had cross-dressers in Yoruba society since.
Yeah, now I've come to realize that, okay.
And he's sweet.
He's entertaining.
He's a sweet guy.
At first I thought, but now I'm like, it's amusing now. I'm like, okay, I get it. I slowly get it. Like, why don't you just leave it?
What's your own with cross-dressing?
No, because it's not the cross-dressing or whatever to say that I have an issue with. It's the people on this side, the ignorant people on this side. I feel you have to be careful what you...
On which side?
The ignorant people on this side is the people I worry about.
We define this side.
The Nigerian religious people that I worry about. So I have to be...
When I look at them, they look like they can take care of themselves.
No, they can't.
Stop worrying about
You have to just... No, you have to box them. You have to... If I'm my way, I have to knock off every single thing in their head. If I have my way, I go, you've passed on.
But you have your way through your comedy and your art.
Yes, I do. But
that's what I want you to do.
I want to do it quicker.
Okay, but you have been at it all this while now.
It's hard. It's hard work.
So do it because you don't want to... I'm going to live on this. You do not want to have the curse of Antigone. What they call the curse of Antigone. Where you are saying very important things, but nobody is listening.
Because they think you're just being negative every time.
It's not even just being negative. Negative is another judgment. They just think you are happy at them. Sometimes when people are doing it, it's like the Nigerian Christians. For a lot of people, the so-called Nigerian Christians, you know what I mean by that? For a lot of them, that's survival. That's what they do to survive. You must recognize your privilege. Your privilege to have been able to step out of that, to live the life you live. Some are trapped in that way for now.
So me trying to yank them off is bad.
So let them do it in their own time or not even do it. Remember, one of the things I want you to take away from here, nature is indifferent. Nature is focused on what nature wants to do. When it's time for the sun to rise, the rain, whether you like, you can complain from now till tomorrow, that rain is going to fall. And when it's time for the sun, I'm going to shine. I'm going to shine.
I'll remember that. I will remember that.
Okay?
I remember that.
I'm going to go. I can talk with you forever.
I have to remember that. No, just let people be. Don't.
Focus on Wale. I give you permission to focus on Wale.
I want to, no, I can't. I don't. Even, Mom, I'll give it, like my missus now, when she says something that I find slightly, maybe, I don't want to say, just maybe politically incorrect, I'm like, no, you cannot say that. You can, I'm like, yeah, but maybe she would change her views over time, but I'm like, no, I cannot allow that, you get away with that. I'm just like, Jesus, if I'm not, and it sometimes feels, if you cannot let your wife sadly get away with something like that. And outside that,
I watch you and your wife sometimes, so don't think I'm stalking you, but I can see that you can learn a lot from her.
Yeah.
From her own ease. She looks like a person who has a lot more ease with a lot of things and who is not as worried about some things. Is that am I reading it right?
Yeah.
There's a reason you married her.
I am scattered.
Yeah. She seems calm in her who she is and what she is.
I worry for other people. Yeah. I even spend time going, okay, what if Donald Trump pressed a nuclear weapon? What do we do? And that will keep me awake at night.
Look, worst case scenario, we're all gonna die, and then nature will replicate us, and because we die together, it won't even matter.
Or what if I survive and I have two heads?
That will be your new reality.
Ouch. Would they be able to talk to each other at the same time?
You know, this is what you're going to write about. It could be that, and it would be great too.
That would be the weird form of sex. If you're having sex, would the one head be facing the side
okay,
and watching?
That's the end.
That's just, but if you think about it, that is fascinating.
That is
because
the absolute
if the other one is watching, would that one be a perv watching?
Larry, hello.
Because you have to think about this.
That's your wife.
Sorry.
Hello. All right? You're taking care of him, eh?
Well, you have to think about these things.
I know, but I'm out of time.
Okay.
You will come back some other day.
I feel very honored to be. It is. Many years ago, I appeared on New Dawn. Did you know that? Chude got me a time slot to be on New Dawn.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
It was a daily show for 8 years, guys. I don't remember everything.
You called me on New Dawn. It was my reference point. I'm sure if I check on a website, I put it there that I appeared on your TV show. It was a big thing. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, good. It was just like, oh, one of them. I was just a name on the paper.
It just feels like I've always known you.
You came to Muson Center. I think Bumi Davis was doing a state play. You came to watch. I was a stand-up act before, and I would never forget this. This was after you did your car thing. So years later, I was at the Muson Center, and this is what you did. And I'll never forget it. I was performing, and while I was performing, I spotted you in the crowd. I'm thinking, oh, that's for me. Ooh, wow, there's a God in this. Wow. And I was talking, you were on your phone probably just doing something and didn't really bother me. And you were just doing this, and I'm thinking, oh God, your show is all over Nigeria. If I appear on this show, this is me huge now. And I'm thinking, oh, she has to. And at some point in time, you giggled. Then you giggled, then you started laughing. I'm thinking, yes, she can hear me. Yeah, and she can hear me. And when I finished, I think you saw later, you went, oh, that was good. And I spoke to Trude, and Trude got me on your show.
Let me tell you this though. Everything I say to anyone.
I appeared with that woman who does, I hate to say this, she uses a lot of makeup, actress. Oh God, she does
she was in
Eukarya, I don't know.
Eukarya.
Yes. See?
Eukarya.
So my days of being important, you did not remember things I have kept.
Look.
So,
Wale,
I am in awe of you.
Wale, like everything I say to anyone at the time I'm saying it, I really mean it.
Really?
I don't do.
Not in a few years' time you go, really?
No, I don't do dishonesty. If I forget because I'm human and I have short. My memory is no good. But the thing I said to you at the time I said to you, I would admit it. I don't do dishonesty. It's too much work.
And just another one. You might cut this off. Why? I kind of have another little love for you now. You remember when the whole Ashomole thing happened?
Yes.
Everybody bashed me. Everybody went for me. You went for the issue that I said wrong and not for me. And I really, really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. You can disagree with someone, but you didn't necessarily go for me.
No, I don't.
Because it was not personal. I think you probably realized, you probably said, Wale ain't a bad guy. So
no, but I think about really everybody.
Because I saw everyone's comment, and it was lots of it. And I
don't like gossip. I don't like you. I'm only really interested in issues, and I genuinely, it's like all the tribes on Twitter. I don't know one from the other. What you've said at that time is what I'm going to be reacting to. I'm not really in that
so
way.
I kind of really appreciate it. So I'll say thank you, because it made me feel like, oh yeah, at least an honest person. Yeah, you can disagree with what I said on the issue and go, that was wrong, blah, 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 whatever you're saying on the issue. But it was not on me. And I think that's, maybe I should learn from that sometimes. But that would take some time. Sometimes it's just easy to just go for the person and go, yeah, I'll just destroy you. I don't have time to be dealing with your issue. I'll just yeah.
You know, when I laugh at people, I try not to get involved. I want to do my own thing. I want to be more like nature. I want to be more like God. But you are God. Okay. And that's it. Thank you. Don't forget, send more questions. Wale, it's a pleasure to talk with Wale. Follow Wale on social media. Wale Gates, not Wale Gates. Wale Gates.
Like Bill Gates, Wale Gates. WALEGATES. Whiskey Alpha Lima Echo Golf Alpha Tango Echo Sierra.
Follow Wale Gates on all social media platforms. Remember to send me questions.
Yes, send questions to ask me.
If you send
I don't know. It's very weird for me to say for me. It is that. Can I say auntie?
Don't even try. And
Mommy,
remember to use the hashtag.
Because some people you anymore. Yes, they will think, oh, they look so young.
I'll see you next week when I will bring you a guest that will shut up when I ask him to. Bye now.
Bye.